All right, I'm just make sure we're not lagging because I started recording. I'm used to the studio computer lagging when I start recording. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna rank the Warhammer Armies Project's army books. Only the ones that had books in 8th edition. I got some people in chat with me. Nobody of any actual real experience in fantasy, but that's okay. And I'm going to talk about an army. Luca will be here, but he'll be here late. And I'll put in the live chat a poll, and you guys can vote where it belongs. I'm not going to decide where anything goes. The polls will decide. Okay, so our ranking system is as follows. B tier is a balanced army. I didn't come up with this. This is probably Spoons. I'm going to put this mostly on Spoons. A tier, you have an advantage. S tier is stop. They're already dead. C tier is it's a challenging army to play. And D tier is don't do it. Just blame Frenchie. Okay, so we'll start off with the Beastmen because that's the first one here in the book. I'm going to immediately put them... Whoop, I'm trying to move it on my other screen. I'm going to immediately put Beastmen right in B tier because that's where we're going to start everything. You can't rename I don't know if you can, brother, but I'm too old to learn things. So Beastmen are actually one of the hardest armies for you to talk about because I think they're super strong, but I can't define why. They're not that different from their book in 8th edition when they were almost unplayable. They have toughness 4, movement 5 as their standard. Fast and tough. Some of the arguably the best monstrous infantry in the game. An ambush that actually works, though things might change in the update coming up. Marks of a chaos that can do very good things. Wait, let's hear.
Someone joined and left.
Interesting. Okay, so you get marks that can really... Well, one mark is all but useless, Mark of Corn. Mark of Zinch isn't terrible at getting a little bit of a ward save. Mark of Nurgle +1 toughness. You can have an army of all toughness 5. And then Marcus Lanesh is just fantastic. So marks, tons of different kinds of monsters. Decent magic. You can make a mage combat character. Very good characters. Very melee. Very fast. I feel like they're almost a point and click. Primal Fury is fantastic. Basically, the army can reliably have hatred every turn of combat. Now, it's not a guarantee. You have to roll a leadership test, but on the squads that are going to be in combat, you're going to have a pretty decent leadership. Relatively low armor, sure. But high weapon skill 4 is like the average, is gore average. Like that's their baseline troop. So higher than average toughness, higher than average weapon skill, higher than average speed. Decent magic, not the best magic. Some of the best close combat, like point attacks in the game. Yeah, I think it's a very strong army. I don't think it's fair to leave them in B tier. I want to see core chariots too is another good one. I think they have at very least have an advantage. I don't know if I want to put many armies in S tier, if any at all. I don't think they belong in S tier, but I think they're in A tier. So we'll start the first poll, unless we have any dissenters. Like if we're all in agreement, it's A tier. We don't have to put a poll up for everyone.
I think A tier is a fair place to put it, assuming it's not necessarily an expert, but a competent player running it. Especially since with all the marks, any shortcomings you feel a unit has, you can place a mark that at least mitigates it.
Yeah, a lot of comments agreeing. I also would say that to add to that, it's probably the easiest army in the game to play without any experience, because all you have to do is look at your movement and move forward that many inches until you think you can charge.
And since you have reliable, useful ambushing, if you're new to the game, you have a way to make up for, say, misplaced units by bringing something else onto the table.
I was going to say, what are they weak at that could possibly bring them down?
Armor.
They crumble to shooting.
Armor. Well, no, I would say they don't crumble to shooting. They can put down a lot of really fast moving screeners, like more than any other army. Oh, and yeah, no real good cavalry option, but they don't
They're
suffer
fast.
on speed, and they don't have armor. But, as a whole, I think the game, feral armies suffered in combat in WAP over 8th edition, except for this one. But yeah, okay. Unless enemy says we really don't belong in A, we'll leave them in A. Okay. Next is Bretonnia. Oh, I guess I should turn this off because Luke is not coming yet. Okay, Bretonnia. We'll start them off in B tier. I gotta stop grabbing my Discord tier ranking, trying to move it.
I get the feeling a lot of people are going to push for S tier on this one, but I think you have to remember you have to know how to run cavalry.
So I agree with that. I think this one's gonna need a poll for sure, because we'll put right out of the gate. I think a lot of people are gonna think they're S tier or not know how to run them, like Spoons just said, and put them really low. I think they are solidly A, not quite S, but that's actually a good thing for the game. I think they're almost S for me. They are super strong, high armor, one of the best lores in the game. Super defensive. They got War Machine. They got Peasants. They got every type of unit except for monstrous. No, they got those too. They got super fast, high armor Cav, Pegasus Knights, Hippogriffs Knights. Is there an aspect of the game they don't have? They got cannons, trebuchets, archers. Lucas here. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, so
Made it. Hello.
It's all good, buddy. So I'll catch you up, Luca. We started off with Beastmen. We started because it was getting kind of late. We started off with Beastmen, and we put them in A tier with no pushback from the audience. And how we are ranking this, we have come up with a system where, again, it wasn't me. B tier is a balanced army. A tier, you have an advantage. S tier is stop, they're already dead. C tier is you can have a challenging fight. And D tiers don't try that. So we did Beastmen, and they belong in A tier, right? Got any disagreements on that one? He's loading WoW.
oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, Luca, you need any time walking dungeons?
All right, let's move on.
While we wait, who's it? Oh, we got Ironside and counter argument to S tier from the games I've watched. Bretonnia has a hard time with the idea of Plan B
I can see that.
because of how small their model count is. They're so invested in everything around. I mean, just look at what one missed cast. If you get the any of the template rolls on that unit's dead. Doesn't matter what you get. It's not actually out of the game, but it's so hindered by losing a couple models that it's just going to be there for the sake of combat res almost.
So I agree thoroughly with what you said. I also don't think they have their A plan works pretty damn good.
Oh, it is effective. They are high A. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, okay, so we have to pull this one because I'm fairly confident.
I think it's going to end up in S tier from the poll. But
Yeah. I honestly hope it doesn't.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
now we can.
Yeah, I was having a mic issue earlier. I was answering, but
I
it wasn't.
I saw your name lighting up, but couldn't hear anything.
I'm gonna add B tier. I'm not gonna entertain anything lower than that.
No.
Oh, Bretonnia?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what boggles my mind about the Beastmen is why are they so strong? Yet the rules seem identical
Okay.
to their 7th edition.
I actually did talk about exactly that, Luca. I can't pin it down, but they work in WAP.
I can tell you this: every time we played 8th edition, you'd roll your Primal Fury, you get your rerolls, and then I'm like, I just don't care, dude. It literally doesn't matter if you have rerolls. And then every time you hit Primal Fury in Armies Project, I'm like, God, here we go. I'm just gonna get this shit probably beat down, dude. I don't understand at all.
Yeah, no, it is an army that I actually said I want to play against it, so I have a better understanding. But they are an anomaly. They are so. We're talking about Beastmen right now. They are so clearly A tier, but I don't know why, and nobody does.
Their
like-
magic phase feels very dangerous because I just, from observing, your opponent has to be so mindful about which spell they dispel because any of those debuffs or buffs can turn a unit into a powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean their lore seems pretty good. I don't know how I can't remember how different that is from their 7th edition book.
All right, we have, I believe, a winner for A tier on Bretonnia. So let's do it.
Okay.
I guess we can rank the tiers at the end. Like, we can go into a tier and then line them up properly afterwards.
Yeah, we can do tiebreakers, and some things may move up a tier in doing so.
All right.
The marks are not all that different, except for the Nurgle one got changed. Like the Nurgle one is a -1 to hit. I believe you strike them at -1 weapon skill or something, or your weapon skill is lowered if you're in base contact with them. Otherwise, the other ones are very samey. I suspect.
All right, let's go right to the demons. So we haven't seen these guys in a long time.
Oh, they're stubborn. I thought they were immune to psychology. 730, by the way.
Fair. Okay. I think demons are there's zero chance I can entertain dropping them down to C tier. You're not gonna have a challenge time.
I actually have no input on demons. I don't think I fought them or played as them once.
You did.
I did one game.
Yep.
Crap.
I'll help you remember. Colin's playing Slanesh, and you had a sorcerer.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's right. I played against them then. What? Okay, but there was something kind of taboo about them. I remember it was kind of like one of those like, oh, we probably shouldn't do that kind of thing. It was like Pennant of Calethon Dragon.
No. That has been addressed in the update. So you can have a 3-up ward save against range attacks, and you can buy rerollable ward saves. You cannot buy them both anymore for the same model.
Oh, I see.
But at the time we're ranking this book, that's still a viable option.
I suppose. Yeah, I guess fair.
So
Okay.
Brian Greaves says S tier, they can do everything I've played against them many times. Okay, so they can't really shoot. They got skull cannons. So
Is there any shooting you need other than a cannon?
well, in WAP, honestly, shooting is greatly buffed.
Yeah.
It is, but you can still get away without it.
You can. No, I don't think that's. They have a crazy good speed. They had problems in 8th where.
Flamers of Zinch that for shooting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I think the core rules of WAP, like reducing the amount of attacks armies have, these lists don't typically crumble to death, and then you get countercharged.
And the demonic instability is a lot better than I remember. Like, a lot better than what I thought it was back in like 8th edition too. Like demonic instability just in general are really good.
My opinion, this is going to be an A tier army. I'm not sure where in A tier, probably in the upper end. I don't think this warrants S tier. But again, we have the limited experience with demons. I think they got a lot of good things going for them.
It's definitely a book that you can tool to whatever play style you feel you need.
Yeah.
And you won't necessarily have a hindrance as a result. You just might not play a certain type of demon because of that.
Are you able to soup the demons?
Yep.
In WAP?
Yep. They can fill each other's they can fill holes in each other, like the certain demon factions. Like Slanesh can be very offensive, very defense. Khorne is very offense. Nurgle can hold you forever. I will add C to the poll and see if there's any votes for C tier, but
they're probably gonna end up like S or I think they're S or A.
You think they're S? Well, are they really stop? You're already dead. Like you haven't.
I think we don't have the play experience with them.
That's true. That's true. I think they have an advantage.
Yeah, I'm putting A for my vote, and that's a tentative because I could definitely see them moving up when we reevaluate at the end.
Yeah, I think they're strong for the same reason that like they're kind of expensive, but most things are going to bounce off them, not kill them in one hit, then get countercharged.
So I want to take a quick second if chat could thank Alex for texting me his comment instead of saying it verbally in the
In your monetized stream.
yes. So we're all going to thank Alex for that. Thank you, Sam. All right, do we have enough for voting there? Let's see what we got here. Ooh, I don't know. Look at that spread.
That's
We got some
that
CTO votes.
4% is definitely a spite vote.
That I think it is. I shouldn't have put it in there. So we're moving demons up to 8 here. All right, Dark Elves. I'm gonna let Luca take the lead on this one, I guess.
Dark Elves, I would definitely. Oh, we're saying B is like you could
B is
you're
balanced.
gonna have a good game. You're probably gonna have a pretty. I'd say B. Like my initial reaction's B here. I think their magic alone carries them to like A, like a pretty high A. But like if you just want to kind of like just mess around or whatever, like overall B, everything considered.
Yeah, so I agree with their magic is super top tier.
But with that being their best, you have to factor in it. The sorcerers can die,
Now,
and then the army suddenly back down again.
I don't
The
believe
second that sorceress dies, I think it's all over.
I don't believe Dark Elves belong in A tier. But I want to give credit to their magic. Like the magic phase can drag you up to A tier. Like that, their magic is crazy.
I would say magic high A if you're only considering that, but all around B for sure.
Now, there's no like we got a lot of people saying like, oh, by the way, chat, do what you're doing, eh? Type it in there, Nico. You're too biased. You can't get that. So I'm gonna put C in the poll, because that's where I kind of want to put. No, they don't belong in C, but I'll put it in the poll. So we're gonna,
I think just
feel
keeping
like-
one up, one down from where
I feel like
where
there's an
they-
element of this where people are trying, like, we have to rate them for WAP, not the leftover feelings from 8th.
oh,
That's the one
Yes.
thing you don't have. Like, there's a lot of things they don't have from 8th edition. But hey, a lot of their like bad things got better too from 8th.
so
Overall, the book has got like a lot more internal balance.
So,
and
in a
army
way, a B rating, a balanced rating, is actually a really good thing for the game state.
yes,
Because it means elves are in a good spot.
Ogres and
Yeah,
Dwarfs are only S tiers. Hard Dwarfs nerfs needed. Okay, Nemo, not
Actually,
even close.
I think he's got elves in a really good spot. Like, I don't think he has to do anything to them.
So we Luke and I already discussed this. We know the community is gonna be biased with 8th edition opinions. That's what people played the most, and they were crazy OP in 8th.
Ogres and dwarves are only S tier. Hard nerfs needed. No, I think dwarves. We'll get to dwarves. I like dwarves.
No,
Like,
Hiles need to be nerfed.
The only thing they had to like the second they got rid of that always strikes first. I swear, like way better. I hated that.
I think we can end this poll already because that's
It's got more votes than the last one did. So yeah,
that is a solid B tier army.
listen. Their main drawback, from what I've witnessed, is they said your caster, your wizard, is more important than a Tomb King's Hierophant. Like,
Oh yeah.
Sorry, just feel free to chat while I line up the next screen, but we're gonna go ahead and do the dogs.
You don't like Vambrises of defense, eh? That's Mr. Goober. They're okay. Like that's like their one defensive magic item, right?
For
You know what that
Hiles,
does?
what's wrong with Van Bree's defense is 60 points, and it gives you a 4 board save and a 4 board save and a reroll armor save. But what it does is, if you buy those items separately, it just saves you 10 points. That's all Van Bree's defense do. I don't know what the problem with that is.
Yeah. Well, no, I was curious because it was like they're like one defensive thing. Because like the Dark Elves has something too, where it's like the 3-up ward against like ranged attacks, which is pretty good. The Cloak of Twilight? No, that's like is that it? That might be it.
Let's stay on Dogs of War though. We're not in the Hiles yet. We're getting there. But Dogs of War. So I think many of you have an opinion of they're kind of not great. I've played them a handful of times. Now I know they're going to get nerfed in the update by armor, which could arguably tell you that they're not in that bad of a spot. I think they can do literally anything and be super assassinating. they are slightly. I see them as literally just slightly worse Empire.
Yeah.
Anybody any other like opinions on that? Because I think I would put them. I'm not even gonna say. I'll tell you where I'd put them after the poll. I say the poll is gonna put them in C tier. You know what? I'm gonna skip S because I know there's not gonna be any votes for S. And I better put an option for D because you never know.
I worry about, just given the nature of an army like that, it losing a bit of synergy in the stat, because your recruiting birthdays, effectively stat lines are going to vary so much.
Well, and they have some characters can't join like racial problems, whatever. But
yeah, like you might find certain units aren't gonna work the way you want them to, because your front line might be made up of a completely different race and have different stat line as a result.
yeah, I mean, there's like I don't know if you can change your votes. Probably we'll go a couple more. So you have every type of troop, every type of magic. Well, like the core rules, extra assassinating, even more. It's slightly better characters, I think, than Empire. Yeah, but you lack some Empire. So you lack the priestly stuff of the Empire, which is actually really good. But as far as troops go, like they have one of the best infantry like squads with their bodyguard. But yeah, solid units. But yeah, I guess we'll end the poll there. And it looks like it is a C tier army. 41 votes. Oh, wait a second. It just slightly below B. Okay,
yeah, that's real close.
So we are gonna put them in C tier because we said that the votes are gonna do it. But I would have put them in B.
I would have probably put them in B. They're kind of annoying though. They're like they play just fine, but I feel like they always went through annoying means.
Yeah, but I mean,
The most important thing about Dogs of War is if you're rocking up with a Dogs of War army, especially if you have some of the original models, like hats off to you for the labor of love that army represents.
very true. Very true.
I don't care if you're gonna win or lose or stomp me. I'm gonna have a good game because you care.
All right, here we
I
go.
think they're a very knowledge intensive army. You have to know the book, know what you're going into.
Oh yeah, also the Pikes brother for sure. I think back to Dogs of War for 2 seconds. I think they play. I think they're epitome of the balanced army. But we'll move on and we'll talk about them again when we talk about ranking the tiers themselves. But the dwarves, I have no prediction where this army's gonna end up. So I know I hate speaking for other people, but I know Matthias himself on my channel has stated he thinks they are the weakest in the edition. I would not put dwarves in S tier, but I think they crumble one less.
Dwarves crumbling.
Solid defensive stats, solid shooting, solid melee, terrible magic, terrible mobility, slayers. Some really cool character combos. Like, I would be upset seeing them drop out of B tier. I don't think they belong in C. I think you can argue for A, but
If this
I would
was a
say
game
solid
that had
B.
objectives, they would be in a really rough way.
You know what? That's
Because
a good point.
Most of the objectives are just some variation of don't die and kill the enemy. They have the tools to do that.
So keep that in mind as you think about the poll. If you're playing a bunch of scenarios, that's going to affect it. We're not talking about scenarios. We're talking about the Warhammer Armies Project scenarios from the core rulebook.
I said their magic may not be great, but they seem to be one of the most reliable armies I've witnessed when it comes to shutting down your opponent's magic.
Yep.
Yeah, they can really skew it. Even if you just throw a little bit of focus into it, they got a lot going on. I have a lot of fun playing them defensively against magic. And even like if you're getting hit by lightning magic, you could have 4 wards on banners, you could have rune lords and everything in units to help the spell or give you magic resistance. They're slow as all hell though, dude. They are real slow.
They died to Skaven easy, so much bypass armor stuff. Oh, I can see that argument, but you got to be careful about one particular matchup, because even Bretonnia has a problem against Skaven.
Okay, the Skaven will run themselves off the table.
As the Skaven are gonna fail their way to it. Like they're
Well,
gonna be annoying. And then
David are designed to deal with heavy hitter units. If you throw a bunch of chaff at them, they start having a little bit harder time.
I was going to say, Bretonnia, I mean, not Bretonnia, Beastmen will walk through Skaven.
Exactly.
I can't see the poll in its entirely because I have a lot of things open, but I'm seeing
49 votes, so it's about par for the count.
Okay, well,
I'm actually surprised people voted that much for A.
Should I end it? Should I wait? I'm surprised. I think they're better than most people think they are, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they're like mid to low A.
They might end up low A, but they've had a very good running on the channel, which is what a lot of people have seen.
Yeah, that's true. So dwarves, which have disappeared, how did they end up over here?
You never dragged them up.
I see. I don't think they're like realistically their loss of 8th edition special rules aren't that bad, or like if non-existent at all, because like they crumble one less every turn. So like I think that replaced their 5-up parry on the turn they charge, but overall in a long drawn out combat, which is what dwarves are going to want, that holding and one less crumbling every turn is a big deal, as opposed to the one turn of a 5-up parry. Because realistically, in like when you're getting attacked by like 12 times in Armies Project, how many 5 to 6s are you going to roll on a parry? Not too many.
No, you're right.
That one.
When you run the math down on a lot of these things. So
Yeah,
you and I know this, right? Like there's a difference between looking at a book and like, thinking how good something, the potentiality of something, as opposed to playing it 30 times and knowing it in real life or rolling it in practice.
Now they also exactly. In practice, as their 5-up parry rule is more of a it's so annoying, I hate that, but it's like a one and done thing.
Right.
A little bit more impactful in 8th when people were running hordes naturally, but that's a problem with hordes. But
the Empire,
that's not the case. Yeah.
Well, everybody knows how I feel about them. I think they're one of the few books that can argue for S tier. I suspect people are going to put them in A tier. Demon A says D tier right away. Okay, Empire and 8th edition were very middling, on the low end of middling. Right now they have everything going for them. The core rules of the game massively buffed them. Less attacks on the table, lots of internal synergy, every type of unit, magic, warrior priests, artillery, core pistoliers. I guess we can't really talk about demigriffs, even though mine are almost unpainted, because they're going to get better in the update. Demigriffs are not great right now. Cool characters, like literally everything. And probably the most broken, overpowered rule in the game with their state troop thing. So that's my senses. I'm going to start writing the poll if you guys want to weigh in on your all thoughts.
So I think Empire in a vacuum is a very powerful army. I think that Empire with the collection of Empire that people have is maybe not living up to all the potential that it has.
So, okay, Full Metal Elbow, I don't see Nippon. What's the deal, man? We're not going to do any of the books that we haven't played and have personal experience with. But yeah, finish your thought there, because I think what you're saying is something I hadn't considered. People probably are thinking that way. I would ask everybody not to think that way, because it's not a fair judgment of a book. But yeah, I know it's something to bring up.
As somebody who is actively assembling models for an Empire army right now, getting into Warhammer Fantasy primarily, because of your channel and the Armies Project and its accessibility, Empire, I see how all the tools work, but you have to have all the tools done and ready to use. Because if you're just like, well, this is my Empire collection, so I'm going to run it, and that means you've got like 60 great swords, and you're going to have a rough time.
But that is absolutely 100% true. And I'm not going to discredit what you're saying, because you're right. You are right. But that's true of every army.
Your 8th edition army isn't going to transfer well.
Less so for Bretonnia, less so for dwarfs.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out why people are going to think that Empire is not as good as it probably actually is.
I guess your 8th edition army of 40 halberdiers, the Luminarch, 2 steam tanks, it doesn't transfer over. You're right. This army is one of the ones that least transferred over from 8th edition, collection-wise. So I'll ask the poll, and
I
See what people
definitely think it could end up somewhere in the A tier, and an argument for that being it's something you can tool to your local meta very well.
That's true. That's true. A few armies in this game can do that, but Empire is one of them that can do it very well. Yeah, you can collect and tool to your meta. I would be very happy if no armies end up in S tier, and most of them end up in B tier. But so far, we have 4 A tiers, a B tier, and a C tier. But I could see the argument for putting Empire in S tier.
I still think Dwarfs should probably be like B, but I think they'll end up.
Oh,
there.
I agree. I'm with you on that one, Luca, for sure. Dwarves are B, but
additional point on the Empire. I do think that it is an army that is in a vacuum, and again with a skilled player, very strong. If you don't know how to use the countercharge rule, or you use it to make bad charges, you can hurt yourself so fast.
So okay, I got to counter that with there's probably never a time not to use it. I don't think you can. I think the amount the probability of it being a bad countercharge is almost nil. Not impossible, but like it's always almost. I'm not a rule, but it's almost always going to be use it. Almost always.
Because a countercharge negates the benefit of their charge in its current state, right?
Well, I can give you arguments why. Yeah, it does in great fold, but you gain way too much from it. But more importantly, like just the cursory knowledge of the game with this army, you're going to do better than, in my opinion, than a cursory knowledge of the game with any other army. Like Beastmen are pretty point and click, but once you start to learn Warhammer Fantasy, Empire does the best right now. That again, sorry guys, that's my opinion, not a statement of fact.
Yeah, because I agree with you on there's hardly ever going to be a bad time to countercharge.
Yeah,
because if you're countercharging, you've been charged, they're making it, and you're having that fight anyway.
So I'm trying to come up with a reason where there would be a bad time, because you're almost certainly going to win the fight and then reform into whichever direction you need, and then your turn is next. Yeah, you give me one.
I can think of one.
Yep.
Somebody running almost 8th style detachments where they have their melee brick and they have some crossbows or handgunners, and they throw the crossbows or handgunners in because they're like, oh, I'll get some free combat res out of this, into like Saurus warrior block, and they lose so many light armor guys.
Yep, you're right.
They end up losing the combat. That
is one for sure.
I know this because I've done it.
Yep. No, for sure. No, you're right. That is a bad time to do it. All right. Oh my. Is this? Oh, that's a lot.
We got 62 votes. That's a lot of votes for S tier.
Okay, it ended up at A tier, but that was a lot of votes for S tier. Jeez. All right, I don't want to get involved in the next one. High Elves, guys. My opinion right now does not matter on this army. I think a bunch of people are going to put them in S tier because of 8th edition. That is my opinion on this one. Anyone want to take it?
Ooh.
I think they're probably balanced.
I'm feeling B because I've seen them play up and I've seen them play down. So if you're running a list that's built to go against multiple different kinds of armies, you're going to end up in that middle ground.
I like both Elves and B.
Yeah.
You know, so at the start of Armies Project, I would have said these are C tier. I think with the experience I've gained, I agree. I think it's a B tier army. I think it's one of the solidly B tier armies. It has weaknesses, but it has strengths.
Absolutely.
Don't give the option for a spite vote.
Again, less so than Empire, I think, but this is another one of those armies where it's like the model collection didn't transfer super well. Like Beastmen model collection transferred fine. Orcs and Goblins, if you were playing Goblins, which was the way to play it, you transferred fine. Yep. High Elves is one of those where it's like, well, if I was that cheese player at the club who was running the horde of White Lions with the banner, I'm not going to be feeling happy.
I guess so. It's hard for me to fully. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I can't process that with high elves because my high elf collection was always my biggest one. But yeah, you're right.
Oh, sure.
The heart of white lines. It's still usable, but I'd rather have sword masters for sure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I hadn't considered that. It didn't transfer over the greatest. Alario's just an archmage. How many votes we actually end this one?
We're at 50. Yeah, that's par.
All right. Ooh, I can't even, guys. I want you to know I can't really see them. Oh, B tier, solidly B. I like it. I respect.
That's a good thing for your book to be a B. Yeah.
I love my books at B. Yeah, for sure.
I like that we don't have any, except with the exception of Empire, we don't have any strong S tier arguments yet. Because that's good for the state of the game.
Exactly that. So the next one here is another one where, okay, so we're moving on to Lizardmen. I don't like the Lizardmen book, but I think it's strong.
What do you? I asked you like a while ago. What do you dislike about the Lizardmen book? Exactly. Like, what are the differences?
I don't like that across the board, most armies gained armor and points went down. Not a rule, but that's happened in the most case. This one, they went up in points and armor went down.
Is that just like, does it like just feel bad because they got like directly nerfed? Like it's.
Well, I don't know, because if you look at the updates coming for Lizardmen, they're getting their armor back.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and now I'm like, that might be too good.
Well, the question is like, what did minus like the fact you can't run as many dinosaurs? Okay. Like, what was your favorite thing about the Lizardmen?
No, I actually,
like,
I got it. Matthias tells me how to make my list in that book. Like, I feel like this is like over all the books I've read in WAP, this one's like, okay, this is what you're gonna bring. There's gonna be slight differences here and there. No, this is I'm making a bad argument. I feel like my Lizardman collection was the smallest I had for back when we played a lot of games with 8th edition, but I could play it with many different themes or styles in mind. Not with the collection I had, but I could do all skinks or all monsters or all whatever. Now your army is going to be all Saurus and a few things like you're over restrictive. I don't like anything. I don't like my old collection wouldn't have transferred well to WAP because I couldn't use my 2 Troglodons or my 2 Stegodons or my 2 Bastillodons or my 2 Carnosaurs. I almost never did that. Almost never. But it's my right to do that if I want to, not being told, no, you just can't do that. Right? Like, if I want to play up or play down, I have no options. Like, this is the list I can make. I can have this monster or this monster. Am I making sense?
Well, it's like, it's weird because it's like a regression where back in the day, you'd have restrictions on a lot of rare units, like 1 black coach, like no matter what size of game you're playing or anything like that, like up to 40 zombies in unit, using Undead as an example because that's all I remember. But then it was like loosened in 8th edition, and then he kind of brought in a lot more restrictions again.
No, 7th edition was very loose as well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, 7th loosened it up as well.
I think okay, to be fair, 5th edition was Hero Hammer. 6th, you had so many points, you can bring everything. And then 7th and 8th, I thought was very loose.
So, this isn't addressing your point directly. But one of the things I think, having played against the Lizardmen multiple times, the core rules of WAP buffed them.
Yes.
Because they're going to lose a lot of guys getting into combat. But the fact that units are generally smaller, and everything that's not your really hard-hitting units doesn't have a lot of armor.
No, you're right.
That those Saurus warriors absolutely mulch just about anything they touch. There may only be 10 or 8 of them left, but they win that combat.
Yeah, because those 6 swing are still 13 attacks with a champion.
And with Predatory Fighter on all ranks at strength 4.
Yeah, they hit I think it's kind of it might be the same kind of concept where like a lot of people don't like the fact that dwarves lost their +1 strength on the charge. In like WAP, I think that'd be busted if they had that because they're pretty much always going to hold in WAP. That means they're always going to get that strength for counter charge as dwarves.
Yeah,
which would be pretty brutal.
You guys have said it, and just in case I didn't say it yet, I think I did. I think the Lisbon book is very strong, I don't like
Yeah.
it. I don't like it.
Totally fair.
I think the restriction on rare things is a little over the top too, mostly. Yeah.
And for some reason, and this is not a factual statement, it is not true, but I feel like it hit the Lizardmen more than anybody else.
Well, it's because you said it before. Just like when we were talking, it was like you like them because you like to run big dinosaurs.
So Giant Pie says you disagree. It's true. The Giant Pie says I disagree. The core rules change. Giant Pie, significantly less attacks coming in, with toughness 4 and strength 4, spears being better, predatory fighter being better. Like as a whole, units are doing less attacks to each other, but except Saurus. So
Saurus
the
are
core,
doing
They're actually doing
so
more
many
attacks.
yeah, the Saurus actually do greatly buff from core rules or WAP, whereas most other armies got debuffed by it.
I'm casting my vote for B, but I really want to see how the access to buying armor affects their performance.
Yeah, I like a solid B for them. Like they're in a really good spot, I think. Minus the weird restrictions on the dinosaurs, because most people
Oh, yeah.
realistically are gonna play Lizardmen because they want to play dinosaurs. Like I don't think that I think that's an easy assumption.
Honestly, too,
Go ahead.
I think an all dinosaur list might genuinely be weaker than Saurus bricks.
Yes, that's my opinion. That's it. But I want the option to do it.
Oh, for sure. You should have the option to do it. I don't know that it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'd rather you make the dinosaurs weaker and let me do what I want. Yeah, that's all. But yeah, I've said it. Okay, I think we can end it. Ooh. Spoon, should I end it?
We're at the vote so far, so I think that's safe to end it at.
Okay. What do we got here? Oh, solid B. Another one where I actually have no idea where we're going to go to next, but I'm going to get the screen lined up. You guys can pre-talk about the Ogres. I have no idea where these are going to land.
Oh god, ogres are tough.
It's a tough call because they're similar to Bretonnia in that they can do a lot, but if they lose a bunch, they're out.
So I didn't like it. I think they have to be at least C tier. I think they might be D tier.
I don't know. I'd put them at B, but only with like a build or two. Like they have to like skew into 1 or 2 builds to be even B. Anything else is kind of
I guess you can buy the 3 magic items and put all your points in a unit and try to cross the table.
Like
that will work. You're right.
And that would
You
actually
make your bus and hope.
Yeah,
I hate that. I hate that.
Often be an A tier list too. Like you buy the 3 really good magic items that still exist. You do the if they're core, right? That's like what you're gonna build. So they're gonna go forward because like bulls aren't gonna do anything.
See, I like bulls. I don't know. I hate those magic items. The Hellheart, the Maw banner, and the Dragonhide banner.
Yeah, it's Dragonhide banner.
It's a damn good combo. And then like a good lore. Honestly, a good lore.
Oh, they have a damn good lore too. Yeah.
But like the core rules of the game, mastery buff shooting. They die to shooting. They no real rank bonus. Average leadership. Like they have downsides. They have they charge faster than the average army. They have definite buffs. Their cannon's good. Yeah, cool. Like they have good things, but do we factor in the gut bus in the poll? That's the question. Because I don't like that you have to have a gut buff to play them.
I think no, and here's my argument for it. For them to be competent, it's mandatory, and if it's something you have to take, it's a disadvantage for the book.
Okay.
I think the book lacks severe internal balance.
Okay, so when we do the poll for the ogres here, we are not taking into consideration the gut bus. All right, guys. All right, I'm gonna start typing that one in.
I think the same like general game changes that buff lizardmen nerf ogres.
Yep.
Because they went from being an army that sort of just crushed people through weight of attacks and stomps to an army that just doesn't actually push through enough attacks to actually break through units.
Yeah.
Unless they take a very specific build. Like they're very rarely winning a combat, and then they got hit with an armor nerf, so they just don't have the staying power.
Yep.
And then nerfs to like a lot of the leadership stuff too in this edition makes them like really, really suspicious to play.
So if they yeah.
Can't do the standard of discipline. You can't like BSB is not going to help them in a lot of regards too. So
Spears hurt them a lot, actually. I think.
Yeah,
Spears
hurt them. Pikes even hurt them worse too, because don't pikes get the bonus against monstrous infantry as well?
Yep. Spears are terrifying for ogres. I don't know. I just think if you guys remember 7th edition ogres, every problem they had got brought back into the game for WAP.
Which makes sense given what Matthias has done with WAP in general.
Brought it. It's a combination of 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
All right, Spoons. Let me know when I can end this one.
All right, we're at 44, so a little bit more.
Get your votes in, everybody.
Well,
Get your vote. Your vote matters.
Believe in
yeah,
count.
so I'll give it a chance, but it's pretty solidly C tier. Yeah. All right, it's good.
yeah, like the way the WEP skill chart works, a little bit more punishing. They're only WEP skill 3. They have like next to no defense. They pretty much even like on the
C4.
charge, every unit but Iron Guts just always lose every combat. It seems like. Unless you're skewing heavily into like 3x4 Ogre Bull unit or 3x3 Ogre Bull units, you still don't even get rank bonuses.
God, I love ogre bulls too.
I think if they lacked, I cast my vote remembering the gut bus exists, because they could easily go D without that. But I put them C just because they have an option.
Well,
You
They
know,
have I like C because they got a good lore. They have a good canon, and like the Yetis are good, albeit bad. Like no musicians, so yes, we're freeform.
So
That feels.
I don't think this changes the fact that they do belong in C, but none of us are taking into account the fact that everybody online who says ogres are good says you need to use the freaking Noblars or whatever they are.
Yeah.
It all depends on your matchup. If it is the heavy shooting one, then Nobbler is going to matter, right? But if you're fighting something else, you'd rather just have more charges and hitting power.
Every Nobbler argument I've already heard that 15, 20 years ago about 7th edition. Like, it's just the exact same problem. And it's sad too, because ogres, you can buy their entire line almost right now. You can start. No, you can still buy Nobblers.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. You can't get Grecius, and that's it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can get their entire line. It's really sad. Okay. Moving on the line. It's the O's and the G's. Now, I don't know. We have to factor the whole book, not just the goblins.
I really want to separate it into 2 books.
Okay.
Do we have a tier for just like being an orc player? Because there's a certain element of, if you're an Orcs and Goblins player, you're just having a good time regardless.
So
You like create a separate thumbnail, turn it upside down, and that'll be the Orcs book.
Yeah. I think. Oh damn. Okay, I think Orcs and Goblins have poor internal balance. They have ways of playing up, ways of playing down. There's no way to play up with orcs.
I feel like they've always had poor internal balance.
Look,
They're
Orcs
and
being
Goblins.
first in the name is their participation trophy. Like, if the Goblins go, "You're doing good, you got this."
So Luca,
Balanced because they've got orcs who are bigger than goblins, and the goblins are carrying.
that's the balance. So Luca, back in 8th edition, the tournament comp, every army had something. Every army had something, except for Orcs and Goblins. They were like, just play your Orcs and Goblins. There was
Just
buffs and nerfs first. Like, everybody had something.
They were bad in 8th though. Like they were pretty good in 8th. Like
Yeah.
the goblins were.
But like the book is very similar to 8th, with a few 7th edition magic items. And then
there's a lot of differences.
No. The book is very similar. The differences are magic, all the spells, magic items from 7th edition brought in. But like every unit is pretty similar. Oh, but Boar Boys had to have armor removed for whatever reason.
Do you ever find it weird that things got armor for being mounted to represent like them being more durable?
Well, it was because I think the argument back in the day, I remember from 5th edition, was you basically had 2 wounds, but instead of getting 2 wounds, you got better armor. I don't know. Because of the horse and the rider.
I guess they wanted to like differentiate it somehow, but yeah, it was kind of like that always kind of threw me off. Every time I'm like, "Wait, they're mounted, they have more armor." I'm like, "Why? Like, why do they need that? It's so weird." But whatever, doesn't really matter.
I have to start writing the poll. Can anybody argue something, good or bad for them? Are they just so medium?
Just do
Just
Orcs and
telling you,
Goblins. Just
Orcs
do
and
Orcs and
Goblins.
Goblins. Yeah.
Like, you may or may not have a balanced book, but you're an Orcs and Goblins player, so you're gonna have a blast.
I'm not. I can only put 4 options in a poll, so I'll leave out S tier. Damn. Okay. So where I'm going to predict they're going to end up. No. Okay. I'll wait and see. Is anybody expecting to hit B tier?
Looking at the poll, I think not.
F for fun? I think they're not. I think. Okay. Orc boys never worked.
No, not like literally ever once.
I think if Matthias can pull a rabbit out of his ass and fix Orc boys, no idea how. Then the book is fine. Oh, and the spells have to be fixed. The spells
Poll is
have to be
pretty
fixed.
set.
Okay. And not going to channel. What the heck? What do we got here? And C. Oh, that's so sad. I did not want that to be the case.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think
Goblins will be a solid B tier army, but having to factor in Orcs drags them down.
Well, they lost. I think the Goblins lost a lot too. They
What-
lost like the Doom Diver. They lost the.
Oh, that's true.
Like
Yeah.
they lost. Yeah.
Doom Diver is mentioned in the update. They said it counts as an Orcs and Goblins unit and may take an Orc bully now.
Oh, awesome.
Don't know how that helps it.
That's so cool. They can take their bully now.
No, cool. C is okay. So I'll reiterate the levels for everybody. B is balanced. A, you have an advantage. S, stop. It's really, really good. C is it's a challenge to play, and D is don't try. Dang. Yeah, because
Where did you want them, Steve?
I wanted them to be in B. I want everything to be in B, but
Yeah.
I want them. I would absolutely love if Orcs and Goblins were like, or Orcs. Let's just say Orcs were just statted up to the tits, dude. Like they just had so much stats, but the animosity table is way more punishing.
I would play that.
That is getting changed.
So animosity is getting changed. It'll be after you charge Luca. Talks about magic changes, but I haven't heard anything about giving armor to boar boys.
Oh no,
I'll
They're
read through-
boar boys.
You can't
That's
run
not-
boar boys with 4-up armor.
No,
But having the pigs fight in 2 ranks is gonna be pretty good. But we're focusing on current edition or current state. All right, where are we at here?
Yeah.
I want to see a unit that's just the boar boy pigs with like a squeak or grunt or a goblin on the back riding a chariot to like
Why
drive the
not?
herd.
Luca, by chance, did you see the thumbnail?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Sorry,
That's okay. That's
Oh.
fine. I don't know where you got that from, but it works.
I googled Luca from any wargaming.
Oh, nice.
Skaven, everybody. We haven't had Skaven on the channel in quite some time. Their Grace here did not need a leadership nerf.
No.
Their Warp Lightning needs a nerf. It's way too powerful of a spell to be signature. Other than that, I don't know where Skaven sit. I honestly don't know where Skaven sit. I hope they hit B tier. I didn't like them in 8th. They were kind of dumb. They broke too many rules. Where does everybody think they're gonna lie?
Where? Skaven?
Yeah.
C? I think B. I think B
I
for
think
sure.
B, because
I think B.
they have a lot of strengths, but they're Skaven. They run away.
I think the problem with balancing a Skaven army is that it is entirely a luck-based army on so many critical factors. Like, we've seen this how many times back when Cullen was on a bunch where it's like, this army should be balanced, and you just failed. And I feel like that happens in all fantasy armies occasionally, but more with Skaven than anybody else.
That's kind of like, yeah, that's like their design, I think.
It
But,
is,
yeah.
but that can't ever be a balanced mechanic. It can be a fun mechanic, but it
They
can't
do-
be balanced.
They even did the same thing like Age of Sigmar too. They're like crazy random and like very powerful.
I've seen AOS Skaven destroy a table. I've also seen them not stand a chance.
When the book first came out in 2nd edition, I was trying to showcase it, and I tabled myself two games in a row Like before, like trying to show off the mechanics, I just like lost right off the rip.
So we're not going to factor in Cullen's artillery dice luck, in our opinion.
That's true. Well, if we're doing that, they're D tier all the way.
Yeah, I hope they hit B. I think there's a couple of things needed to be taken away. A couple of things needed to be buffed, which means that to me sounds like a B tier army. In 8th edition, Cullen never did it, but you can just put like 100 models of Skaven slaves and just walk at your enemy and shoot the way. Like, it's not fun to play against, but they can't do that anymore. So yeah,
I do think like a couple of adjustments to make them. Then again, I don't know if like Skaven want to be like tamer or not, but like maybe is there any downside to Warp Lightning right now? Like if it
no,
just fails gas,
that's like a level 4 or 5 spell, and and they're using it as a signature.
Well,
like, it's better than Urnan's
yeah.
Thunderbolt. Like, I mean, that spell is bonkers.
I think the spell could be like brought down to like make the higher cast version of like 1 or 2 harder to cast, and then like make it just strength 4 instead of strength 5. I think
if you don't reduce the amount of hits, it's gotta go strength 3 at bare minimum. It is a signature spell that's better than nuking knights than a level 6 spell for everything else.
It's only unique to them though. Like it's like that's like
no, but it's a signature spell.
Yeah, well, I mean, no one else can take it.
I wouldn't complain about Warp Lightning if it was not the signature spell. It's the fact that you can cast it 7 times a turn if you want.
Yeah.
Like, that spell's fine if it's higher to cast and it's level 3 or 4 or 5.
I think it's all like this one might be like it's all matchup based because I've never like anytime I fought against it I never cared about the spell because I'm playing like zombie skeletons or whatever, right? The things
That's not fair.
Typically care about it. Yeah.
That's not fair.
But like if you're playing heavy cavalry and things like that, then yeah, that's gonna feel real bad to play into. But that's all matchup based.
Yeah.
I think it could do with like a tone down in strength, but I think it's kind of cool and unique for them.
Alternative idea that fits in the Skaven theme. It just has to scatter.
Ooh, it would never hit. It would never hit. If you gave it a rule that you have to roll a d6 on a 2+ to hit the target you want, it'll never hit. It's Skaven.
So that sounds fun.
Oh, into the pulse moons?
And on a miscast, it just auto hits
64
yourself.
votes were good.
You don't roll on the miscast chart. You just can't cast it right.
Skaven are sitting at B tier. I like what you people are doing. Oh no. We're getting to one. You know what? I don't want to do it yet. We're gonna jump the line.
We have to remember we're going with the book, not necessarily what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. You got to consider the other end of it.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to those ones. We're gonna do the Wells. So I think Wood Elves, didn't look interesting to me. I think after playing a bunch of times, I really liked them in a lot of ways. I didn't like Lore of Athaloren, now I really like it. I can't stand how they died of shooting. Like, this is supposed to be the guerrilla army, the shooting army, but the rules of the game made them like the most susceptible to it. That's their biggest downside.
To be fair, guerrillas usually are very susceptible to return fire.
I was gonna say they're just as weak as they were in 8th edition.
No. Well, no. So the shooting is more buffed, right?
Yeah.
So nobody used shooting in 8th edition.
Well, that's just that's what people chose not to use, right? Like imagine fighting another. Well, you know what? Actually, I got a great example. I played to no downfall to Josh, but he had gotten his Wood Elves for the first time.
Yep.
In 8th edition, and we're doing a couple battle reports. I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting to play Tomb Kings. I'll play them. I just have a bunch of skeleton archers, and I just.
Oh, this is a bad argument.
I just table him with shooting 2 games in a row, and he actually sold his Wood Elves
to me. So I thank you. Yeah, that's Tomb Kings are gonna hard counter Wood Elves no matter what edition you're playing. Oh man, well, Wood Elves Wood Elves have always had a problem against Undead as a whole, but I'm not gonna factor that against the Wood Elves. I think they play very well. It's a high skill army. I don't think they belong in C tier. I think they're B tier that needs a couple of buffs. But I can argue for A tier. like a better player than me can do things with them. But I don't know where you guys are gonna put them. But I know that shooting, because the core rules of the game, buffing shooting, really hurts the Wood Elves. I think their melee units are not bad, and their lore is really, really good. I think Wood Elves would arguably be, you can argue them for S tier if you got no, sorry, if you were, what do you get for not being in the woods? So when you're in woods, you lose your rank bonuses, but you can still be stubborn. That's what it is. Yeah. So if you're in a wood and you can't be stubborn, which how it used to be, then Wood Elves are a lot better. Because they have that spell that summons the woods underneath you, and then like you charge the comet, summon woods on the enemy, disrupt them. Very powerful tactic, but it doesn't really work. So not a powerful tactic.
Great for theory crafting, not in practice.
Well, I think that the fact that they can be stubborn is I think the only problem. I'm gonna put S tier in there because I don't think anybody's arguing for D tier. Which one to leave out, guys? S or D?
Leave out D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see where everybody else puts them. You guys any predictions where they're gonna lie?
Actually, I think they're kind of hard to play.
C tier is a challenging army to play, Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'd go with
It's
C.
leading B and C.
Oh, maybe the RC then.
I think the idea that challenging to play would be like if you're competent with the army, you're still gonna have a hard time winning with it. But like if you're competent with Wood Elves, you could probably play them at a B level, but like takes like more time to get competent with them than any other.
Damn, yeah, maybe the RC. Because yeah, I mean, Brian Gracie's bring a Turtle Guard and you'll do great. I've brought them numerous times and still haven't won. Huh. Low point games, they're A. Yeah, they do scale down quite well. Looks like I can only see one vote, like one tier, and from what I can see the B tier.
We're at 56 votes. We're good to call it.
And looks like it's B tier. Is it B tier?
Yeah. I think it's a low B though.
Okay. I can live with B. It's a balanced army. All right, we're gonna do the Warriors next. We'll do the Fun Dead Gang last.
Well, obviously, you kill 7 models and they all run away, so they're D tier.
Now, I want to say before, stop it. I want to say before we do the Warriors, we are not allowed to factor in that Luke and I playing several years together, several hundred games together, and only one time ever had one army won, where the other army got tabled, and the winning army lost no models. That's not going to be factored in today. That was a fluke.
Didn't they lose like a wound to a misfire or something like that?
Yes. One Screaming Skull Catapult took a wound. All right. Who's got opinions on the Undead? We're doing. Oh, sorry, not Undead. Sorry, Warriors of Chaos. Warriors of Chaos. Warriors of Chaos. Strong armor. Good cav. Good buffs. Good infantry. Good monstrous infantry. Good characters. Good monsters. Good everything. High point costs.
My gut's telling me B because they're similar to the ogres that you need a gut bus, but they're overall better. They can diversify. They can deal with different situations.
So
their only downside, I think they're kind of like one-dimensional and boring in a lot of regards.
yeah, I can see that argument. It's not for everybody. Some people really love their chaos, but my thoughts on them were when I first read the book. I'm like, with my limited WAP experience, I'm like, this is an S tier army. I don't want to play against this. This is nuts. After playing a bunch of times, I think they are a B tier. I think they're balanced. I think they're fine. You can argue S tier. I'll never see them in C tier. Sorry, you can argue A tier, not S tier. But people have opinions. I think they're going to land in A or B.
I think they're A, yeah.
You think they're A? I think they're B. I hope they land in B. But
I give them like a low A, I guess. But
So I once again am going to return to my previous argument and say I think they're probably B because of people's collections. I think if you're playing like on Tabletop Simulator with an optimized collection, they might be A.
interesting.
But because people are going to be running giant bricks of warriors, because
Well-
that's what they had for 8th.
Well, that's good though. What do you think they're lacking for WAP?
The chariots are really good.
I think it's a fine line in factoring in collections, because otherwise I'd argue Dogs of War needs to go down, because the characters, all those niche regiments, hard to find.
All I'm trying to point out is what people's experiences are going to be.
Yeah.
Not so much like, again, arguing the books in a vacuum is.
Yeah, for sure.
Did they have access to acquiescence in that book, or is that only the demons?
I don't recall.
Because if they have acquiescence, they're S tier, dude.
Well, here's what. Oh, you mean Warriors of Chaos? I'm pretty sure they have acquiescence. Yeah, they do.
I said last Chaos Lord. I consider the giant bricks more relating to point cost than actual count.
So acquiescence is top 3 spells in the game. Maybe the best spell in the game. Not too sure. It's such a good spell. I want to see. I think maybe I want to see them in B, but I think they're gonna end up in A.
We're at 60 votes, so we can call it. It's pretty close.
And what we got? Oh, not okay. Well, they're ending up in A.
That's not too bad, yeah.
Not too bad.
That's kind of where I see them, like in between that, like little threshold.
All right, Luca, which one do you want to do first?
I don't know. Tomb Kings.
Okay.
Why do we have to do these ones last?
Because Steve doesn't want to do them.
I actually don't want to do them. Oh, wait, we're grabbing the wrong thing again.
No.
Okay, so Undead got a massive buff by the core rules. But a lot of armies did.
L for Luke.
Which one of the two lets you play Nagash?
Neither, I think.
No. No, he's in one of them for sure. There's no way Matthias is like, say you can't bring her to Gash.
I would assume Tomb Kings, but
Right? I mean, it's not like the end times Nagash.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think like a lot of the. Yeah, I thought I don't think there's any end times rules for like a lot of units.
No, come on. We have ages. No, we have ages. We have rules for Age of Sigmar models, but end time models.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
What the ass?
There's no more gas. There's nothing, dude. Like there's no.
There's no more. No, come serious. What? All right.
Some game. Why do you guys play this?
Thanks, Alex.
I know your favorite thing, Steve, is playing.
I will ban you right now. Shut up. I'm not putting up with this.
You can use Nagash as the Lich in the Vampire Camp book. Lich is very powerful.
Oh, like the big Lich? Okay. All right. Tomb Kings. Shooting. They didn't get buffed by it. At all. They did get a buff.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Yeah, they did. They stand still. They get to do 3 shots with Righteous Smiting.
Oh, yeah. All right. They got a massive buff from shooting. Their spells actually work. Their combat works because of the core rules of the game. I don't even know what to say.
I'm going with A, but they can definitely be played down if desired.
Sure, I think
dude.
Everything you play, most things you play down.
Yeah. I think the problem with these 2 books that we're about to do, you have to like so comically play down that like it's just you're trying to throw the game in a lot of ways.
Like I've been trying to factor out what you can do compared to what the book is overall, but it is really hard with Undead because it's especially with vampire counts with their chords, they have to do,
So if I were to, I suspect if I were to individually talk to everybody in chat right now, there's only 2 questions I'm going to ask, and if they're honest, I'm going to have the same conversation with everybody in chat. I'm going to ask, what's the tier? They're going to say S tier, and then I'm going to say, do you play with or against them? They're going to say I play against them, and I'm going to ask somebody else, and they're going to say B tier. I'm like, okay, do you play with or against them? They're going to say I play them. I think every Undead player is going to say B, and everybody else is going to say S. That's my prediction if I can pull everybody individually.
I think they're like I think they are possibly the most powerful in the game, generally.
Tomb Kings.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you?
I'm going with high A tier, And my argument for that really doesn't come in until we get to the vampire count, but it's because Tomb Kings can absolutely be S tier, but you have to build a specific list. Whereas vampire counts can reach S tier with a little bit more variety in their options.
Luca, how do you feel about that?
I think the Tomb King book. I think it's got good internal balance too, because I don't think there's any units in that book I've scoffed at where I'm like, that's whereas the Vampire Account book lacks extreme internal balance.
Yeah.
Like there's so many units in the Vampire Account book you just don't even consider existing because there's like no value unless you're trying to throw the game. The Tomb Kings, you can bring anything and it's all kind of good. And like they are very powerful to begin with.
You guys are overthinking it. Both of the books are S tier because what does that stand for? Stop, they're already dead.
Oh,
Stop.
God.
That's a point.
That's true. That man's got a point, dude.
I don't know how you make my blood pressure go up every time you open. Because you're not wrong. Stop, they're already dead.
Pedantically correct is the best kind of correct.
I'm just thinking with Tomb Kings, because again, I can see them S tier, but you have to with Tomb Kings you have to have a fair chunk of shooting for that to happen.
I even with like an all melee build, they still play pretty damn good, and they'd have to like play down.
Oh, they're solid A tier. I'm not arguing that at all.
Like even if you're to do all melee Tomb Kings, I think you're like on the upper end of A, like the high A still.
So Giant Pie says Vampire Count's only book that can take only core and win. Well, they need wizards too, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can Tomb Kings not take only core and do fine?
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
you
they're
can
core
take,
the archers.
Yeah, archers, and then you take a couple. You take your 2 wizards, slap them in bricks of skeleton warriors, and that just holds them back.
You would do like just gigantic bricks of skeleton warriors. But I think the problem here is inherently like the mechanics of the army requiring you to bring a wizard, which then makes you naturally put more investment into said wizard, is then going to make the army that much more powerful.
I've never put a level 1 into a list.
You would never like what you wouldn't. I've tried to do the bare minimum. It's not fun. Like you're not gonna play the army for that reason, right? You're actively not trying to unless you're gonna do like an all ghoul list, but we know how that's gonna go. You might as well be playing Orcs and Goblins.
Wow. That hurt, Luca. Okay, vampire counts. Everything, same arguments. I guess we're already having the discussion. I guess I'll just put right in the poll. But is there anything else? Forget the BlackBerry app. I'm not gonna go one.
I'm gonna preemptively put them ahead of Tomb Kings in S tier because I feel now they lose out on the shooting phase, they play their magic phase so much better.
Okay, you know what? Unless anybody here in the chat room or in the chat live, I'm gonna change the poll up because I think they're gonna end up in S tier. Everybody agree to that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So I don't think anybody's gonna argue out of that, right? I want to be fair. If anybody thinks they're not gonna be S tier, because right now I'll jump right to the poll. Are vampire counts higher or lower than Tomb Kings?
That's tough. Okay, because like realistically, like at what point are we like comparing them to each other, like just actually
as a whole?
I think here's what we do, because this is their 2 strengths. Is the vampire count magic phase stronger than the Tomb King shooting?
I think the Tomb Kings can skew into both way better than the vampire counts.
They're definitely the more diverse. I'll give you that.
I think so. Tomb Kings are way more diverse and can skew into magic better. The Vampire Counts have the Black Perry up, which is nice. But the Tomb Kings can have the Hero Titan. They can have the Cask of Souls. Those are both good picks. Also, they don't hold the army back.
Their giant is nothing to scoff at either.
Yeah, they have a damn good giant too.
True.
Like their monsters cannot be cheesed by poison either. Someone mentioned.
And if you want to be fair, you can't bring stalkers because those are such a game-changing unit. If you don't misfire on them showing up.
Yeah. I try to not bring the sepulchral stalkers because they're pretty powerful, but because like the book's already pretty good. I had an idea of doing like an all construct game, but I ended up doing dwarves instead. So I still have that list, but.
So Luke, I have an argument because I was with you that Tomb Kings are stronger, but I was thinking about this and I actually I now believe vampire counts are stronger.
Also the thing to consider for the vampire accounts is like their book, half their book is like worthless.
No, I agree. But there are two things that make the vampire count stronger. One is a good argument. One's like a really good argument. Vampire counts because they're raised dead. But we can ignore that. The main reason why I think vampire counts are better is I will probably, if I'm going to beat Tomb Kings, I've probably made them crumble. I'm going to get your characters. The vampire character, I'm not getting him. You're not crumbling. Is that a fair argument?
I mean, they're both equally easy to snipe. The vampire is sometimes easier.
Isn't it?
Here's
You think the vampire's easier?
supporting argument for that. The Tomb King's Hierophant. If he dies, your army starts going down the hole. He can kill himself.
Oh, yeah, yes. The Hierophant is just super easy to kill.
Well, the vampire will probably also kill himself too if you skew heavily into it, I guess.
I think in our 18 months of WAP, we've only ever seen one wizard die to a miscast, and that was my slam last week.
Nope, 2.
Two?
Cullen lost a demon prince on turn 1 at one point.
That's true.
I think.
No, that's true.
That's Cullen.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you that it is Cullen, so take it for what it's worth. But
okay, so
it's tough. I would put the vampire accounts out of the Tomb Kings because I think the vampire accounts beat the Tomb Kings every time, one-on-one. But I think the Tomb Kings will win more games against every other army than the vampire accounts.
I think if you go to a tournament, you come out ahead on Tomb Kings. I agree with that.
Yeah, but until they come across vampire accounts, I think they lose against vampire accounts. So you're probably safer going. I don't even know what the answer there would be. Yeah.
Tell us about roll no count. All right. Well, we got it. We have a ranking. We've already figured out S tier. Well, let's just go right to the bottom real quick, because I think we have the conversation relatively simply. Yeah. C tier. We got Dogs of War, Ogres, and Orcs and Goblins. I'm going to put them in the order I think they're in. I already don't believe Dogs of War belong in C tier, and I think Orcs and Goblins can probably pull up. No, they belong in C. Okay, that's fair. I don't think Dogs of War belong in C tier, so I think the order. Oh, I'm trying to move it on OBS again. I think this is the order for C tier.
I'm in complete agreement with that.
I think. Oh, okay, it's tough because the gut bus is so strong.
Honestly, yeah. Well, but so gut bus is strong, but Black Orc Brick is strong.
Actually, I don't remember playing against it.
So
really.
Lucas heard me make this type of argument 1,000 times before, and I'll put it to everybody else the way it says. So you have to go to a Warhammer Armies Project tournament, okay?
Yep.
You have to win, or I'm gonna shoot you.
I'd go with the ogres, top of C.
So you have to pick ogres or orcs and goblins. Lucas picking ogres. I'm taking orcs to the tournament.
Yeah,
I'm taking orcs and goblins because I'm taking all goblins.
I'm taking all goblins and war machines and chariots.
Yeah. Now,
an itchy nuisance.
Yeah, I say gut bust dies pretty hard to the war machines from Orcs and Goblins.
And itchy nuisance, man, shuts the gut. No, can't shut the gut down. Never mind.
They can't. They pass off the spell, right? You can't shut the gut bust down with magic.
You can with vortexes. Like Purple Sun.
Yeah, that's true. You have to have death though. So Orcs and Goblins aren't gonna have death unless they have No, you can't even take that spell.
Yeah. Sudden, you're ogre player. Of course you would. You have more experience with them.
I would also bring the Nobblers with the gut bust so to protect.
All right, so I know what we do. We decided that we'll do the poll decide. So do a quick poll. So I'm going to put an O. No, that doesn't work because they're both O's.
Yeah, so just do votes on Ogre Kingdoms and Orcs and Goblins because I think everyone's in agreement on dogs.
I think dogs are on the higher end of it. Yeah, yep. They're the high C. Yeah. Oh no, does that mean I think Orcs and Goblins might be the weakest army in the game?
No, it's ogres, but they decide. We don't decide. Oh man, this is rough.
You might want to. Is this for good or bad? Like which one?
Oh, who's the stronger one?
Okay.
We should do this. You know what? If I don't get what I want, is that over? Wait, 30. Oh, never mind. Really, the greens are stronger? I challenge you. Build your best
like
green.
Tell you what, this is going to be your game next week.
This is the game. I challenge you, fatties versus greens.
Dude,
you make the strongest list you can.
Look at. Okay, hold on. I played them both. Whoops, I hit my mic again. I played them both a bunch. I'm arguing from authority. Not a good thing to do. But like, orcs have some scary things.
I say my vote's on greens being stronger because you can always just bring a goblins list.
Yeah, but like, what's the goblins gonna do to the ogres, man? I don't see it. I don't know what they're doing to the
They're gonna
ogres.
poke
They're
them with
gonna
tiny
shoot
little
doom
rusty
divers and
sticks.
rocks at 'em.
Yeah, it's fair. I guess the doom divers. So the rocks aren't gonna do anything. They'll kill like an ogre and then here and there. But they have like, if they go first, they get 2 turns of shooting. That's kind of it.
And they're gonna chip damage you with fanatics too.
Okay, look at an orc boy can take a bull.
Yes,
Black
Orc boy
orcs
can
can-
take a bull.
Black orcs can take iron guts.
I don't think they can. I think the
What?
iron guts just tear right through the black orcs.
Black orcs have better weapon skill, more attacks, more armor. No, black orcs are gonna walk through the bus.
Well, the black orcs get no save against the bus.
But I'm not gonna bring the bus. I mean, I'm not gonna bring the black orcs because I'll deal with the orcs in other ways, or the fatties other ways. Okay, I think I can end it. I see it.
50 votes.
I get you.
It's
It's solid. It's solid.
decided enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's solid. All right, so fatties are the worst army in the game, Luca.
I refute it, but it is okay.
That's not to discredit their amazing showing last time.
Black orcs should not
They-
take iron guts. Are you kidding me, Luca?
Black
You have to
orcs,
bring the.
there's
You have
no
to
way.
100.
There's no
What?
way. No way,
No
Black
way.
Orc. No way, dude. Regeneration up. Just the Dragonhide banner just going in there, just destroying.
Now, remember, it is the bus,
No.
not a unit of iron guts.
You can't assume regeneration.
Well, even without regeneration, like no buffs at all. I think because the Iron Guts are gonna get the charge.
'Cause-
There's no way the Black Orcs don't. The Iron Guts would always charge the Black
Nope.
Orcs.
Nope. Because the fanatics are gonna keep you from charging.
You just go right through the Fanatics. You don't stop.
You're gonna panic on the charge.
The Fanatics aren't gonna cause a panic.
The poll has decided, Luca. Yes, they will actually. You're gonna lose like 2 ogres and you're gonna away.
There's like 12 in the unit.
So you're gonna lose 4 ogres and you're gonna away. I mean, I have no fanatics. All right, how do we handle B tier? We have 5 in there.
Well, you start the
Balance. They don't
Start-
just roll a d5 and call it a day.
Call it, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Let's have some contentious. I think.
Oh, I know what to do.
Ooh, I think High Elves are the high end. I think it would go like High Elves, Lizardmen, Dark Elves, Skaven, Wood Elves.
Actually, I think I know how to do this. We'll do some rapid polls. So we're gonna go.
Yeah, I'm actually in agree with Luke. You just flip High Elves and Dark Elves on the current lineup and it's in order. Skaven and Wood Elves feels like it should be a tough call, but I feel Skaven are easier to run. You don't have to have as much know-how and experience with movement to run them as you do Wood Elves.
Because one second, I think. Oh crap! I can't do it. Oh crap! I can't do it. Well, there's 0 chance they're gonna be. Okay, forget Hiles. Nobody's gonna vote for that one. Vote for the weakest one in this row. Oh, Lucas' power went out.
Oh no.
Luca, if you come back and watch this, I'm telling everybody that your power didn't go out and you got upset that your fatties are.
I mean,
volunteer
according to
and left.
Discord, he's still on World of Warcraft, so it might be a little behind, but
Oh no! It appears to me that Wood Elves are gonna win the weakest. I never would have thought that would be them.
I get
I
like
see that because
Like-
not because they're
yeah.
actually weak, but because people are going to feel very weak playing them because they're just going to die.
Okay.
It never feels good to pick your models up.
Were you guys saying that the High Elf and Dark Elves are gonna be the highest too?
yeah.
Okay, I'll put that up real quick. Start a pool.
But no, I'm not surprised by the Wood Elf Skaven result because like I said, I feel Skaven are close to them, but they're easier to run.
And do we? Is everybody thinking High Elves and Dark Elves are stronger than Lizardmen and Skaven?
I think they're in agreement that High Elves are stronger than Lizardmen, so we'll see where
Okay.
that goes.
I honestly think High Elves and Lizardmen are probably just a gosh darn even toss up.
I actually think the order is correct right now. High Elves have some better units, but Dark Magic, I think, keeps them at top tier. Of the Elves.
The lores you can take, definitely.
Okay, so the... Okay, so...
Yeah, would you rather have, is it Hand of Glory or whatever, instead
Nah.
of Word of Pain?
There's a lot of love for...
You ended that one early.
was that spread?
Yeah, with typically there's 20 more votes, but yeah, it's good enough.
All right, so the remaining 3, whichever the order of the poll numbers, so vote for who you think the strongest is, and that's the order I'm going to put them in. So Dark Elves, Lizards, and Skaven. I'm not going to do another poll for B tier. The votes for this is going to determine, so vote for who you think the strongest is. I'm going to assume it's like that. Skaven might overtake Lizardmen. Any predictions?
I think if they overtake, that's definitely some fan bias there.
Yeah, I think the order for B tier is now where I would leave it.
Yeah. Like I said, the only toss-up for me was High Elves and Dark Elves, and I just feel High Elves have a little less dependency on their wizard, and that's an advantage in my mind.
Okay, yeah, that's a good argument. I just think that the some of the best damage dealing spells in the game and super easy +1 strength, which is a elf weakness.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially on like a spear unit. Like I think if you take out wizards, I think High Elves win. I think the dark lore is so good that it pulls them above, but that's I've lost that argument, so I accept that I am in the wrong. How many votes we got?
We're at 39. Let me get another refresh. And it's yeah, I'm gonna give it a minute because it's really close. It's 41 and 39 are the
Okay, that's pretty much ended then, right? Wait. Oh, sorry. So, yeah. Okay, it stays just like that.
Yep.
All right. Anybody have any suggestions how we handle the A tier? So, no, I have no suggestions how to handle the A tier. There's no combination I can break up this poll with. You know what? I got this. I think Empire and Beastmen. I mean, Empire and Bretonnia. This is the order I would put it in. How do you guys in chat feel about that before I try to break this up into a poll?
I'm kind of okay with that because while some of the armies easier to play, some of them aren't. When we get down to the subdivisions in the categories, I feel you have to go a little bit. You have to skew your opinion more into what they can do, as opposed to the book overall. I think Luke was back.
Back.
Yep.
Yep. Nope. Or the power.
Okay. Luke, I actually have no idea how to poll this because I can't put 6 things in a poll. Can we definitively agree to something to cut 1 or 2 of them out?
Wait, did nothing change in B tier?
No,
He swapped tiles. Yeah.
Tiles and Dark Elves got swapped to be, yeah.
Hey, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I called. I'm a genius.
Damn. Okay. You know what? Shit. How are we gonna pull something out of this?
Ooh,
You
this is
could
tough.
do. It would be a lot of polls, but I feel you could do.
You know what?
Tournament brackets where you just pair them off,
You know what?
let people vote.
I
and
think
then
I'm gonna do this the simplest way for me. Stronger. I'm gonna start and see who beats. So I want to know who's stronger, Empire or Bretonnia.
Definitely Empire.
I think so, but who knows what the community thinks.
I'm going Empire, but I feel it could end up Bretonnia because there's going to be a strong audience bias to how many Bretonnia games there's been.
My belief, if Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings worked in the game, we all would have put Empire and Bretonnia into S tier.
Oh, hands down. But when you see the example of what is an actual problem, suddenly the other things don't feel as bad.
Exactly. Oh, and Giant Pie, yeah. Giant Pie said it. Bretonnia was an S tier before that last little bit of a nerf. Luca had one entire game with like a single model.
With Dark Elves?
No, Bretonians.
Oh yeah, but I cheated technically. I was using their stupid old lance formation with only
Oh,
You
okay.
can call this pretty solid.
And who won it? Oh, Empire, nice.
Empire hands down.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Empire would arguably be like low S too. Like they're like pretty busted.
So now we're going online. Stronger.
Yeah, I feel if you didn't need more prerequisite know-how for Empire, they could definitely have bumped up to be bottom of S.
All right, who's stronger, Bretonians or Beastmen? I think this is. No, it's not obvious. It's obvious to me, but doesn't mean I'm right.
I think pretty handedly Bretonians on this one because, like I said, at this point we're going with what they can do, not the book overall.
Yeah, I see it. I think so.
It's polling really close right now, but like I said, for Bretonnia, we're assuming at this point you know how to use cavalry.
Yes.
You know.
And again, I don't think anybody can articulate clearly why Beastmen do so well. Like they are super
I think you
good.
nailed it. It's point and click.
Point and click, yeah. Beasts have more than one way to play and do it well. Yeah, but I think I also do think Bretonnia has more than one way to play. But I still think
it's at 40 votes and pretty solid as far as the
okay. So we'll just keep going down the line. Stronger. We're gonna do. I suspect this is the order they're gonna stay in. Beasts. Actually, no.
I could see Chaos Warriors swinging about the list.
Actually, I just realized that there might be arguments for Demons being stronger than Beastmen. I would rather take a Minotaur gut bust to that life-ending tournament, but if I couldn't take that, I'd rather take Demons. But Beasts do seem really fast, Cap, on it. I agree. But Demons can be as fast as them. Not as tough, but as fast and more deadly, though. I don't know. I actually don't know who's going to win this one. Oh, and the poll looks pretty close. Interesting.
I'm not sure who I want to cast my vote. I feel I'm going to go Beast just because they're simpler to play, so you're less likely to make a mistake.
I feel like we don't have a good way to sample this as viewers of the channel because most of the Demons games have been Cullen
Hey.
against Steve's Beast. No offense against Cullen, it's just that kid. His dice.
Let's try and get some more votes because it was a 1%, one vote either way for a minute there.
Guy,
And
everybody,
it's back to it.
if you're still watching, vote in. We're almost there, and we got it. But like, if you actually don't know, don't vote. But if you have an
We
opinion,
got 126 people and 38 votes, and it's exactly 50-50 right now.
damn.
Here's some arguments for why which one should be in front of the other.
I can't think of one. So Minotaurs for Beastmen, Acquiescence for Beastmen. Wait, Acquiescence for Demons. The speed for Beastmen. Oh, the speed for Demons.
Ambush for Beastmen.
Yes, toughness for Beastmen, but resilience and other magic for Demons. More variety of units for Demons. More mobility, even more mobility for Demons. More shooting protection for the Beastmen. Wow, I would not be upset. It's a 50. You know what? We're ending it. I'm ending it right there.
Yeah, it keeps swinging back to 51-49 and 50-50. So
Okay, so I'm going to do...
stack them.
I can't, but they're going to stay just like that. And then I'm going to do the bottom two.
Post.
What's that?
Fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to do the bottom two and then see how the winner stacks up against these two. So we have Dwarfs. Oh, wait, I spelled that wrong. It's Dwarfs. And Warriors of Chaos. Who is the stronger Dwarfs or Warriors or Chaos? Who's using Corn? Corn works fine. I think all 4 demons work. Actually, I can't remember Slanesh. I mean, not Slanesh, Zinch, but the other 3 work fine.
I'm feeling dwarves beat out warriors because they.
Well, it's not who wins in a fight. That's probably a bad way of asking the poll.
Well, no, I'm not saying in that manner. I mean in the which one's stronger overall.
Yeah, because Dwarfs give the Warriors of Chaos the best fight of everybody, I believe.
Yeah.
But which one's stronger? Probably Warriors of Chaos. I would think Warriors of Chaos handedly, actually. But Dwarves are winning the poll. So, okay. Warriors of Chaos have the same armor and toughness as the Dwarves, but they have the speed, same weapon skill for the most part, speed, weapon skill, variation of units. They have the ability to actually close the field and screen out the shooting. I think even Warriors of Chaos take down the Dwarves pretty good.
On the other hand, the Warriors of Chaos don't shoot back nearly as well, and the Dwarves don't need mobility if the other army's coming to them.
Correct. No, it's for sure.
These are overall not head-to-head, but I give it to dwarves for the access to shooting, because that's going to help you against a variety of armies. And the big argument, how well they're capable of shutting down a magic phase.
So I'll say it again. You have to go to a tournament. You can only bring Dwarfs or Warriors of Chaos, and you got to win. Which one you're going to take Dwarfs?
If we're not playing scenarios.
Yeah. Well, wait, not scenarios or yes scenarios?
Not scenarios.
So like objective-based things?
No,
Not objective.
Just the
If
6.
it's just pure kill each other, I think I'd take dwarves because I can castle and manipulate my game plan a lot better.
Yeah, well, looks like Dwarfs win. So Warriors of Chaos are the weakest of the A tier, probably.
I would say that definitely. I think they should be like B, even behind the Elves a little bit, but they're still. But I'm not disappointed.
Okay.
I think that's all the brackets.
We have one more to do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do stronger. The Chaos armies, Beastmen and Demons, are neck and neck. Or are the Dwarfs? Which one are stronger there? And this is the last one.
Ooh,
Are the
I don't know,
Dwarfs
that's a tough one.
stronger than the Beasts and the Chaos?
I think the Dwarves are stronger than Beastmen. Maybe not though, because there's some pretty strong Beastmen stuff. That's tough.
Oh my God! How are Dwarfs just shooting up there? Like I can
There are
accept
just so few votes. It's
gotcha.
balancing out.
That's fair.
I'm having to give it to Beastmen and Demons because I feel, especially with ambushing and their speed anyway, Beastmen can close that gap too fast for castling.
Yeah, they're real fast.
I thought about
And they can
choice.
ambush your siege weapons.
My thought was if like say you dwarves didn't play siege engines and they went like toe to toe with the Beastmen, I think the dwarves would hold and make the Beastmen break over time. But then you're building specifically to play Beastmen.
That depends on how you set. That comes down to how you set up your dwarves. Because with the Beastman mobility, they can have flank and rear charges on you that give them the opportunity to break.
I actually don't even know how much a Beastman typically costs overall, so I don't know if the Beastmen outnumber them or not.
They Beastmen would outnumber them. They're pretty cheap. They have access to chaff.
I have a very important question, and answer this last poll honestly. Think about it before you vote. Yeah, sorry. We've played a lot of Dogs of War in WAP. We've played 0 Chorfs in WAP. So I guess our little community here doesn't have. I know some of you do, but myself and Luca don't have any experience to weigh in. So I just for making sure people think dwarves are strong. Yes, for strong.
I think they're
no
strong
fun.
because they can like the only unfun build would be the parking lot build, and they can definitely play without that.
Did I word it bad?
Yeah, you didn't word it the best.
Are dwarves strong, or they just don't want to play? Oh God, yeah, you're right. Yes, for
You
strong.
should have put strong and not fun instead of yes and no's.
Yeah. My bad. I typed a lot of polls.
What's your favorite color? Yes, no.
Or 2. Yeah, okay, we're thinking they're strong. All right, Luca, look at the ranking if you can. I don't know what you're doing, but the fatties sit for me at the bottom. For the most part, this sits kind of similar to how I thought it would go. There might be arguments for Lizardmen being even higher, but I like how this sits. I can't believe Dwarfs outtook the Warriors of Chaos. I can't believe Dwarfs are an 8 here.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Actually, Dwarves are doing way better than I thought they'd be doing.
Yeah. Dwarfs are the only thing I'm surprised about in all this. I'm a little disappointed in the Orcs, but
I definitely think if the armor access goes well for the Lizardmen, they could easily shoot up the ranking and beat.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna do this again after playing all these armies with the update. Wow. Okay. Well, we did it. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna upload this and people can watch. How long is this video? 3 hours. Oh wow, it's later than I thought it was. Okay, well we probably did the whole ranking in about 2 hours. Luca, if you had put these in yourself, would you have done them any differently?
S looks about right. It's hard to compare them though. C, I'm disappointed. I don't like C. I just jumped right to C. I don't like that ogres behind orcs and goblins. I definitely think the orcs and goblins are the weakest.
Okay, you guys can sort that out next week, Thursday.
Yeah. B tier looks pretty accurate. Yeah, I think the Wood Elves like have some really annoying crap. They're pretty good, but it's just all annoying.
But the bottom would be. I'm surprised about Dwarfs, and I'm very happy nothing ended up in D tier.
Yeah.
That's a solid state of the game.
That's fair. Yeah. I wouldn't put anything in D tier. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Some things aren't strong, but everything has an option to be competitive. You can build it an exact way that it is strong.
So, Luca, if you this is an interesting one. Anybody can answer this. You take away goblins from the Orcs and Goblins, and you take away the gut star and the magic items from the guts, the fatties. Now who wins?
Wait, you play no goblins?
You're not allowed to bring goblins, but you also can't bring those 3 magic items or
the ogres probably beat the orcs and goblins or orcs.
Yeah, that's fair.
How many chariots are you bringing?
Not enough to get through all the ogres.
You try and stall the gut bus as long as you can that way.
Yeah, that's not a game. If the way the orcs and goblins are winning is by not engaging.
I cite Steve playing a steam tank against a horde of chaos warriors. You can play the game though.
Oh, you can play the game that way. It's just not a game.
I gave him many opportunities to reform. He kept thinking I had a weird
you
plan.
Asked if, hey, you want me to play gamey or you want me to have fun?
And then he chose to play the game like where he could play too. So I said no. How orcs is hard in our infantry? Wait, orcs are terrible. Come on, orcs are bad. Or goblins are good, orcs are bad. All right, there we go, guys. We ranked it. We did it. We said we'd do it. We did it. That's our rankings. I appreciate all of you doing the work. For the most part, I agree. I don't like orcs where they are, but they are where they are. I don't have to worry about any of the comments disagreeing with any of these rankings because I didn't do it. Thanks for watching.
Since when does that matter?
Every day. This is my life. Every day, somebody's telling me my opinions suck, and I know.
Oh, I know. I'm just
saying,
they're
wrong.
Why does the rest of us having anything to do with it mean the comments won't say you're wrong?
No, now they'll just think your
right.
community is dumb, Steve.
Fuda, send me a Nippon army and I'll play it.
Yeah, exactly. Send in a Nippon army. Send in what's another cool army you send in?
Cathay,
Vampire Coast.
Vampire Coast. End. Yeah, if anybody sends them in, they gotta be painted because we have a only painted rule. I will play that army. But as it stands right now, there's not looking like they're any time in the future.
And let's call those new members in the Discord. There's 20 of you. Come on.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. Happy wargaming.